Ed from Pinball Mayhem here. I did not do a video yesterday because the only thing I really did do was I gave a extra coat on the front and the back of this, so that the back has the minimum of 3 coats what the can recommends, and the front ended up with 5 because the way I coated it. Now the back you're not going to see anyways. So then these are the 2 spare legs I ended up with. The other thing I did do today is I got a lot done. I was able to cut the brass bushings for the pins to go into. Originally I measured the hole being 1.5 inches long. I cut these 1 1/4 because the pins are only 3/4 inch long, the longest one. But I did cut a spare, and the reason for that is, well, here's a piece of scrap wood. I drilled a 1/2 inch hole in to hold the pipe so I could cut it, because I didn't want to clamp it or anything to mar out the outside or distort it. But the other good thing about this, it allows me to test the fit. If one got stuck or something, I would know. So that's going to allow me, do I need to epoxy it or anything like that? And luckily the paint can opener ends up being just right to go inside and hook the back lip, which is another good test I had. So if the spare one I got jammed in here, no big deal. I had to figure out another way. So I also today got the bushings installed, lined up. Lining them up and figuring out where to drill the holes was the hardest part. I did measure and mark, and then I went back and I fitted the whole thing together before I drilled. And I did is I just sanded the outside of that brass and hit it with a file, and I epoxied this in. I'm going to let it cure overnight before I install anything. Same for this one. The lane now, this one was water damaged. It's a few years different manufacturer, or same manufacturer, but it was a few years different. So some things don't line up perfectly, but I think for where my outcome it's going to be what I need. I also installed the wire. Now, this is what I meant by a screw on the left hand, or on the inside with a little plastic clip. Looking at the original lane, when you're looking at the hole, the screw is always on the left, so that these alternate. So when another one comes together, this cable will be looping around from the other side. They're not going to be buttoned right up to each other. So that's kind of a good thing. Now this side was originally didn't have the hole in it. The other side already had the hole on the left hand side. So that's good that the manufacturer was consistent with that. As you see, this lane needs a lot of refinishing. So it's pretty much done, except for I got to assemble it, and I don't have the top for it. I don't have the lane. I've purposely waited till end, till I get it all assembled to get that. The game is going to be out of commission while I'm figuring out how to fabricate something for the top, because I want to make sure it lines up with the lane. So if I can shim it up or down, or I don't want to get one made and have it too thick a material, because originally I was thinking, let's have it 3/4 inch thick, and if I would have done that, it would be SOL. I'd be belt sanding the back of it and then shimmy it because it's inconsistent. I did do a little filler here where I had that glue repair, and I did take the nails out of this board and I put some screws to hold it on the back. There was 5 nails holding this board on. 3 are broken, and there's supposed to only be 4, so I figured 2 1.25 inch screws, stainless, is going to do well. Here's again, looking at the hole, screw on the left, so it's not going to bind up, because these have to fold up, they have to plug in. And before I assembled this, of course, I did test this plug in the other game, with the section apart to make sure everything functioned. When you're testing it, be careful. 110 volts is running through some of these contacts, so you don't want to be handling that with it on. I would recommend unplugging it from the wall. So that's kind of the lane extension, and here's the mess of everything disassembled. Tomorrow, hopefully, be putting it together. There's some short bolts that hold the front 2 legs on. I did get new leg levelers, the 2 new that were not matched. Here is the 2.5 inch bolts that hold the legs on in the middle, and then we got the 6.5, 7 inch bolts, I forget how long, and that hold the lanes together. So there's 2 bolts on each leg. You put those in loosely, and then you put the long bolts in, tighten up, and you want to level everything. It's kind of going to be a trick to get this all together. It's a lot of heavy lifting. For one person, it takes a little bit of time. You can see here's the feet that I like to use. I originally got the first 8 because there's 4 in the back box from a arcade vendor at Midwest Gaming Classic. I couldn't figure out who they were. They haven't been there for a little bit, and this project just jumped on me. So I ordered them from McMaster Car. See, there's the part number, and they arrived in like 3-4 days, just in time. So they arrived today, just getting it put together. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Tomorrow I will hopefully have this assembled, powered up, and test to make sure it's running. Won't be able to fully bowl in it, but I'll be able to show you everything, and that will probably be the end of my project. Make sure to subscribe, check us out on Facebook, and all the other platforms we're on. Thanks.